That is correct, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back in for another episode. This is the Del Valley Sports Pod. This is episode number 72. The Phillies are NL East champs. The Eagles are 2-0, and it is a Thursday. DG3, how you doing, brother?
2-0. Phillies clinch the division. We got freaking the beer bong with Stubbs, who I didn't even realize was in the clubhouse right now, and him in Middleton. It was crazy.
Chief Vibes Officer.
Schwarber's hammered. It's great. Vibes are high.
And I saw this the last time that the Phillies clinched the division in Dodger Stadium was 2008, and we all know what happened that year.
Whoa.
What?
It's a good year.
What?
It's a good year. It's a good year.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just,
Hey,
it's baseball.
no,
I'm real,
they're 20-8 since Zach Wheeler went on the IL. Okay, I think they're burning the ships, as people have said. There's no turning back. I think that injury lit a fire into this team. They're like, all right, well, you know what? Screw it. We got nothing to lose. Let's play our asses off. And it certainly looks like they are. They just took 2 of 3 at Dodger Stadium. That's not hard to do.
dude.
Or sorry, that's not easy to do.
3 words, Colin. 3 words. What a gift. What a gift,
What
dude.
a gift.
What a gift. How did any of us have Bader being the clubhouse hero after that trade?
No, I was like vehemently against it. I'm like, really? This is the best you guys did? And now he's my favorite player.
He's glue guy right now. We lost Stubbs used to be glue guy, and Harrison Bader is legitimately glue guy for this team. Also contributing in other ways, but he's got the whole team, not the whole team, but most of the team wearing these what a gift shirts. Like I was talking to Jillian about this the other day. Also, we totally blipped on this in the last pod that we did not bring up the Nick Castellanos situation.
That's very fair.
That's huge, dude. I mean, we have been stuck with Nick Castellanos in right field because he'll throw a tantrum if you take him out late in the game. He likes to play every single game, the Iron Man situation, all that. And finally, this last month, maybe even more, Topper said, "Screw it, dude. Screw it. You're not hitting good enough. We all know you're one of the worst statistically outfielders in the game. That's just statistically speaking. And it's not that it's always been that it's not that he makes errors. It's that he just does not get to balls that the average fielder would get to. So let me be clear. He made a nice catch last night, but it's not that he makes errors. It's that his ceiling is just that low, right? And it's kind of funny because I don't want to just hate on Nick Castellanos. He's brought some great moments to this team, and he is a good baseball player who is capable of being a good hitter. But he has always kind of had this thing as walking on eggshells thing where if you take him out late in the game, he might throw a fit, or if you don't start him, he's going to throw a fit and he's going to stew and he's going to be toxic. That's toxicity for the clubhouse. That's just a fact. And they bring in Harrison Bader, who's been like the opposite. Man, he's been, hey, you need me to play today? I'll play. You need me to come off the bench? I'll do whatever. What a gift. What a gift. And I don't think that's an accident that they've been doing so much better and that the vibes have been so good in that clubhouse, man.
Harrison Bader is the direct contrast to Nick Castellanos. Nick Castellanos, his biggest attribute to the Phillies has always been his bat ever since he started, and you took the words right out of my mouth. It's not that he is a bad outfielder, but it's not because he makes errors. It's because he just can't run fast enough to get to the ball. Harrison Bader, and you say glue guy, and you also mentioned Garrett Stubbs. Yeah, he's a glue guy, but he also is contributing out the wazoo. I looked it up. At one point, he was batting .360 since he joined the Phillies, and at one point was like .450 in his last 7. I think that was after the Mets series. This dude is playing amazing baseball, and ever since that one game when Rob Thompson switched Nick Castellanos out for a defensive replacement, benched him the next game because he threw a hissy fit, he hasn't played consistently since then.
Which is ridiculous, by the way. It's the end of the game. I even think he got his last at-bat in. I'm sorry to derail you, but I can't hold it in.
Good.
Dude, grow up.
Seriously.
Look at the stats. Like, objectively, you could just do the eyeball test and go, hey, I played you the whole game, played a good game. We got a guy on the bench who's a significantly better fielder. And then statistically, he's like one of the worst, whatever it runs above average. I forget the name of the stat. Like, grow up. That is a crazy thing to throw a fit. It's not even like he got pinch hit for in a big moment. He just didn't play outfield for like the last inning or two.
Yeah.
Dude.
That's an episode where you need to check your ego at the door, and I don't think that Casty is capable of doing that. And yeah, his bat has not been good enough to keep him in the lineup, and that was his calling card. And now Bader, Kepler is playing way better than almost all of us thought throughout the middle of the summer. People were telling him to be DFA'd, and now he's a regular contributor on this team. Brandon Marsh in left field. I love what he's been able to do since that 0-30 streak he had to start the season. I have seen teams go on this arc, and honestly, this Phillies team feels exactly like last year's Eagles team, where we had doubts. They weren't playing that good. It was really iffy throughout the majority of the season, and then they just got hot. They kept continuing to play better. I'm not saying they're winning the World Series, but I'm saying I feel way better about saying that fact than I did when Zach Wheeler went on the IR.
Yeah, man, and it's Wheeler went down. He's been down for a while now. Turner and Bohm haven't even been on the team for basically a couple weeks now, and that hasn't slowed him down. You
didn't happen to see the tweet about Trey Turner, did you?
Nope.
So I think it was yesterday. Some guy put out a tweet. I don't have it off the top of my head. Amazing. Trey Turner. So they have a whole concert set up at Citizens Bank Park this week because they're out of town for an extended period of time. They have a concert. They have tarps all up. They rolled the tarp up. Trey Turner's taking ground balls by himself at Citizens Bank Park while the concert stuff is set up. And I'm just like, this man here.
Awesome, dude.
It is. That's a guy who cares.
I mean, again, going back to the stats, he's statistically, I think, been one of the best defensive shortstops in baseball this year, and he's taken a huge jump. And, I'm not surprised to hear that story because that didn't happen overnight. I think he's really put a ton of work in to sharpen up shortstop, and he'll still make the occasional error, but all in all, he's played a pretty good shortstop, and he's certainly played much better this year defensively than he has in years past, specifically last year. So I'm not surprised because I think maybe he's developed like a little bit of a new routine or something like that. But that's awesome to hear, man. That's
a guy that
winning
wants to
team
win
type stuff right there.
A winning mentality. That's a guy that wants to win.
The other thing, this is the last of the soapbox, but this is, I think, so underrated and so important. Castellanos base running. The difference between him being on first base and then the guy after him hitting a double, Cassie is like never scoring on that. Whereas someone with even like a little bit more speed, like Kepler or Bader or Marsh, they can score from first on a double. If they're on second and a guy singles, they can score on that. Casty does not score on that. And that can it might feel like a small thing, but now you're relying on not just one more hit, but two more hits, two more good at-bats. These little things can make such a big difference, especially in the playoffs. And I just think there's so many little factors and little elements at play here that really pay such a big dividends in terms of winning a baseball game. And I love that we have more speed on the base bats. I think it's huge, man. And it's not necessarily we're going to steal more bags, but I think that we are getting more bags because we're able to go from first to third or from second to home, so on and so forth. I think it's huge, man. I really do. I'm excited about it. I hate watching all the slow runners out there, And Bohm's not playing, so we don't have Bohm or Casty out there hogging up the base bats. We can run right now. It's awesome.
That's very true. I didn't think about that. When Bohm and Casty are not in the lineup, they actually have speed on the base bats.
And the goal, how much more speed they have, dude.
So much. The goal of baseball, Dan, get on base and then move around it. And if you can't move around it as fast, then you're going to be at a disadvantage. And if you're at a disadvantage, you lose in the playoffs. It's a really simple game if you break it all down.
That's baseball, man.
All right. Well, they're 2.5 games back of the Brewers. My hope and feeling that they're going to get the 1 seed is slowly dimming down. It's not out of the question yet, but I will not bank on it. And that's our 10 minutes on the Phillies. On the dot, by the way. Let's transition to some football. So we have Thursday Night Football tonight. I hope you put a lot of money on the Bills because it's going to be a blowout. But let's get to our game, the game of the week last week. Eagles hold on to beat the Chiefs in Kansas City in a rematch of Super Bowl 59. Did not look pretty through a lot of it. The offense looks very vanilla. Kevin Patullo, I still think, is wading in the deep end and trying to keep his head above water, so it seems. But I will refer to you because you were able to watch the tape. I was not. That's okay. But I want to get your initial thoughts, whatever you have upon rewatching the game film. I want to hear it.
Well, let's start with the side of the ball. Do you want to kind of start with offense?
I want to go offense. Yes, we can talk. Yes, I want to start talking with the offense because I think that's the hot button topic in Philadelphia and nationwide. If people are talking about the Eagles.
Okay, so offense. I did roll through the film, and I really wanted to try to pay attention to the passing game, specifically our guys getting open, and Hurts just isn't throwing the ball. And my takeaway, take it for what it's worth, is that I feel like more times than not, guys are certainly not getting wide open. Guys are not getting wide open. Now, open in the NFL isn't usually wide open, right? I mean, a couple times a game you will see that, but especially if it's a good defense. The Chiefs have a great defense and a great coach. It's rare for a guy to constantly be wide open. Now, I don't think guys are being schemed to get that open. I after watching the film, I kind of put a lot more on Patullo than Hurts. But having said that, I do think that Hurts looks a little slow with decision making and for moving from one read to the next, and he is also very unwilling to try to hit tight windows. And we've seen all of this in the past. Last year, you could go through all of our podcasts and you could see these same conversations happening. I think that this is part of Hurts, is that we've talked about all of this. It feels like deja vu. But I don't think he loves throwing into tightish windows, especially if it's a close game and one turnover could like really have a big impact on the game. But I do think that he's moving through his reads kind of slowly. And just like I said, kind of a little bit of an unwillingness to let it rip or let it loose. And there are a number of pass plays where it's tough because you don't know the exact reads he's supposed to go through, but it felt like he was late to throw to a guy. Like, oh, he was open, but you threw it a little bit late or you missed him by a little bit. If you had hit him a little bit more like to the spot he's about to be versus waiting for him to get to that spot and then throwing it, that could have been a lot more of a successful play. I thought especially on plays where the Chiefs didn't blitz, I thought he had plenty of protection on a lot of plays. Not every play, but on a lot of plays. The one thing I will give Hurts is that you see a lot of quarterbacks crumble when the defense does the all-out blitz. They don't see it coming, and by the time they see it, it's just, oh, no, what do I do? And they'll take a sack. I felt like he knew that all-out blitz was coming late in the game, and he said, I am going to chuck that ball up there and give my guy a shot. And I think he deserves a ton of credit for that play because it's easy to say he just lobbed it up, but how many times we watch football and we see an all-out blitz and the quarterback just like crumbles, Great catch. Devontae Smith's body positioning and his balance is so amazing on that play. And honestly, he broke by the cornerback enough, I think, that the cornerback was doing enough chasing that he wasn't able to get in a great position to make a play on that ball. But so that's an amazing play by Hurts, and I think he's probably most comfortable doing that type of a just deep ball down the line, one-on-one, all-out blitz type play. But a lot of slant routes to A.J. Brown, that's the bread and butter, but nothing that's like being built off of that, which is, I think, a little bit more the difference between what we're seeing this year versus what we saw last year. Because they did that slant route to A.J. Brown quite a bit. We've seen that a lot in the past, but I don't know that we saw them get to that next level after that point. Got your bubble screens in there and such. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to say 50-50 Hurts and offensive coordinator, but I think it is both of them for sure. I'm not impressed with – I would like to see some plays that are just such good scheme that a guy gets wide open, and I'm not sure that we're really seeing that. Whereas I think we did see that last year.
Yeah, I think it's pretty evident through 2 weeks that Kevin Patullo's route concepts are not as in-depth as what we saw from Kellen Moore last year. And you bring up Hurts being cautious, and I have two thoughts behind that. One is because he's not used to the offense, but then I thought to myself, well, he's had a new offensive coordinator for 7 out of the last 8 years, so it's not like he's unfamiliar with a new offense and learning it. But my second one is, does he and maybe the team as a whole think that the defense isn't as good, so he has an extra on himself? Is he extra careful to not turn the ball over because he knows that the defense isn't as good as last year, and if they turn the ball over, that could lose the game? They're 2-0. They've had 1 turnover in each game, 2-0 on the turnover differential, and I think we could easily say that each turnover in each game won the Eagles the game. Now, Hurts didn't lose it, obviously, but the turnover differential, if they lose the turnover battle, I feel like this team, they rely upon it.
I don't think so. I don't think it's that deep that he's thinking that. I think, and especially after how the game was going and how the last game went, I think there is a more of a confidence in the defense. I say I don't think so in part because we've seen this before from Hurts. I lean more towards beginning of the year, still trying to get in reps, still trying to get the processing time back up to speed. New coach.
Didn't play at all in the preseason.
Didn't play in the preseason. I much more lean on that. Last game, I was kind of buying that a little bit in the sense of, oh, shoot, our best defensive player's out of the game. We got to take care of the ball. But for this game, I don't know that I'm buying that as much. I think that things are just coming a little slow right now, and it's just not fluid. I think that it's just not fluid, man. It's not. That offense is not fluid, and we have seen it fluid before, but it's not right now.
The thing that is an issue to me is I saw Dan Orlovsky break this down. There were north of 8 plays, maybe even 10, where A.J. Brown runs the exact same route. It's a 5-yard in or a 5-yard post. And as you said, they're not branching off of that single route concept to make it something else or something beyond that.
Yeah.
And as an offensive coordinator, and this goes back to the entire doubt that we had about Kevin Patullo of being in an offense or an NFL team room for 20 years and not being granted the opportunity to call plays. And everybody's like, well, maybe there's a reason. It starts to creep into your head a little bit when you see this vanilla offensive concept and he's not doing anything creative to really out-scheme the defense. I hope it changes, but from what we've seen in the first 2 weeks, there's nothing saying that it will.
I mean, it makes you worried, too. Say we were to somehow go on another Super Bowl run this year, and then we go up against, like, the Chiefs, against Spags. Would you have any kind of confidence in that matchup, Spags versus Patullo? Like, I would not feel good about that at all.
No, not with game film on record, having played each other.
I think Spags would be licking his chops.
I think a lot of teams might be licking their chops at the simplicity of the Eagles' offense right now. I don't know. Everybody wants to make the comparison to 2023. Is this Brian Johnson 2.0? And I want to say no, but there's nothing that I've seen that is telling me that it isn't just a repeat of that year where we have an unproven offensive coordinator who really can't scheme anything electric or outside the box to make sure that their offense is being maximized and not just hinged on how good the players themselves are.
Yeah, I mean, we have a bad history of hiring within, do we not? Especially on the offensive side. So
absolutely.
This was probably my biggest concern coming into this year and it makes me equally as thankful that the defensive coaching and the defensive side of the defensive side of things is intact, because my goodness, with every game I watch, I can't wait to talk about the defense.
Shall we?
But it's so great to have a competent coach, legit competent coach on that side of the ball. But yeah, the other thing about the offense is that the run game has not been as good, and what I feel like I'm seeing from Barkley a little bit is a little like, all right, I got to get my feet back under me, and I didn't have a preseason vibes from him, because not that he looks bad, but he doesn't seem to look as good as he did in the prime of last season. But I think it's coming. I really think it's just early season, still getting the flow back kind of thing. We're seeing like little good moments, but I don't think we're seeing quite the peak of what Saquon can be.
Well, if there's any good matchup or team to get good vibes going, it's the Rams, who we ran for, 455 yards on last year in 2 games?
Yeah, snow game, baby. Snow game. But at the same time, does that not make you – yeah, well, I guess we'll get to that. But my thought is that does that not make you think the Rams are just going to sell out with how bad the passing game has been? Just sell out.
Oh, no question.
The run.
Yeah.
It feels – there's 2 ways to look at it, right?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
I feel like the 2 ways are, all right, we're going to embrace the run because we know we can run against these guys, or it's, hey, we got to embrace the pass because we know that they're going to set out to stop the run, period.
Yeah, I mean, could it be another repeat of the Super Bowl? Don't think so. But, yeah, there's a very high chance that the Rams do sell out to stop the run so that they make sure they don't get embarrassed like they did last year. Yeah, my question to you, I want to get your opinion on this. So they have 10 of 11 starters back on the offense, and the only one who's different is Tyler Steen in replace of Mekhi Becton. Do you think the running game is at all affected by the fact that, maybe Tyler Steen isn't as good as Mekhi Becton? Because Mekhi Becton played at a borderline all-pro level last year in his first season at guard.
I mean, such a massive human being too. Steen sometimes looks kind of undersized out there. Not in his play as much as just when you look at his size compared to the other linemen. I don't know. I think
that's a testament to our offensive line, who are probably 3 of the. Well, they said on the Super Bowl, right? It was the largest offensive line in history.
Well, they've always had this kind of mix of giant dudes with a couple smaller athletic guys. I mean, you think of Jason Kelsey; he's the perfect. Cam Jurgens is also kind of that side of things.
But that's the center. That's a little different of a position. I mean, Sayamalu, who was there, that dude's a bowling ball.
He's a big boy. But no, I think Steen looks okay on film. I actually think that the guy that I've seen the most, Dickerson, hasn't looked great. And obviously the excuse is the injury situation. Yes. But I think that he's looked a little subpar compared to his play in the past. So we're hoping that that's just, I mean, I think he's a pretty proven guy, right? So you lean on, it's probably an injury situation.
I put that 100% on injuries. I mean, the man had meniscus surgery and is dealing with a back problem and is still able to play at a decent level. I mean, I don't think we can expect him to be 100% and play
pretty problematic to start the year like that.
Yes.
Barring the wear and tear of the actual year, though. Somebody else at some point is going to be playing left guard, right? I mean, he came into the start of the year as if it was the end of the year from an injury standpoint. Back problems and knees. It's not good.
Yeah, we're talking week 1, not week 15. That's not a good way to start.
No. But I think Steen has looked okay. I really do.
Yeah, and I would like to sit down and watch some more in-depth game film, and maybe I will next week, but this week was not the one to do it. Would you like to move on to the defense? Or do you have anything left on the offense?
No, just it has to happen soon. I have a little bit of eggs in the basket of, hey, a win's a win's a win. But I think we realize that we're not going to be able to reach the point we want to with this team if we're only able to throw the ball for 100 yards. Shut up, Chiefs fans. You can't say anything. You lost the game. That's one thing. But to say this is a Super Bowl caliber team, we're going to have to be able to be significantly better on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and if you remember, we said a win is a win is a win through 11 weeks in 2023 when they were 10-1. And then we obviously saw what happened there. So, no, I'm with you. I think we need to see some improvements by this offense, especially out of the scheme aspect, if we're going to have some confidence that they can make a deep playoff push, maybe a Super Bowl run again like they did last year. But, yeah, the defense. I think defense looks great when you account for the fact that they have 6 new players in there on any given snap. I mean, Vic Fangio, as you said, thank God for him, because if we had this many moving parts with an inexperienced defensive coordinator, we would not be 2-0. There's no shot, especially with the offenses we played. No shade on Dallas. I mean, they're still a good offense. And we were able to hold Patrick Mahomes to 17 points. I love some of his schemes. I mean, when we were watching the Super Bowl, I don't think they brought more than 4, maybe 3 times.
I didn't think that they blitzed a single time, Colin.
I don't think they did either. But in this game, that was one of their calling cards. Vic Fangio sending Makuba on edge blitzes. I loved seeing that. He's adapting to what his personnel is, which is the telltale sign of a good coordinator. He's like, I see these pieces in front of him. I'm putting him in the best position possible. I loved the blitzes, especially in the scenarios that they were in. They were getting Patrick Mahomes uncomfortable and being advantageous when they knew they had an opening. What did you see on the defense?
Dude, I just love that we have an old school coach that's been in the league forever, and he's not stubborn, and he's not going to rest on things that worked before, rest on his laurels. He didn't blitz in the Super Bowl, and he doesn't say, hey, it worked last time, let's just kind of, rinse and repeat. It worked last time. No, he says, I'm gonna surprise the heck out of him. I'm gonna blitz all night. It was awesome. It's so cool to have a coach that is older but still adapts and throws things at the team that they wouldn't expect. There's no way the Chiefs expected that going into the game, right? There's no way.
Because you had to have watched film of the Super Bowl as the last time you played each other. That was the most recent game film.
Yeah, it was a lot of days ago, but it wasn't that many games ago, technically.
It was 2 games
still
ago.
Fresh enough.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much. I'm curious. I wish I could ask him, like, how much of that was a product of, okay, our rush wasn't very good week 1, our edge rushers weren't great, but how much was it, hey, I just want to catch them off guard and surprise them and wreck their game plan if it's based on the last time we played, because both of those things kind of exist, and hence them bringing in Smith. I think there's obvious
Darius Smith had a game,
and he was awesome. He was awesome.
I did not expect that. I was like, okay, this guy just came off the couch, new defense, like probably not going to expect a lot from him. He was a game wrecker. I wouldn't go that far.
Not game wrecker, but we learned his number quick. That's a good way to put it.
52.
52. Who's that?
Was on the field a lot.
Darius Smith. Bam. That's a good. You want to learn a guy's number quick in a good way. I guess I could go in a bad way.
We learned Adoree Jackson's number in a bad way early on.
Yes, we
week
did.
What sucks is he took CJGJ's old number, and we're like, oh, we used to love number 8. Now we hate him. Damn it.
Speaking of CJGJ, and I'm sticking with the Eagles, although CJGJ obviously made some headlines with Baker. Makuba?
Drew Makuba, man.
Doesn't he kind of play a little CJGJ physicality safety? I kind of feel like he plays he kind of is filling this hole where CJGJ for us wasn't the greatest cover guy, but he hit. Like, he played very physical, and he loved coming up to stop the run. I'll give him that all day long. He was not afraid to smack a running back or anybody. And I'm seeing that from Makubo, bro. They keep saying he's an undersized guy, and everybody's worried if his health is going to be able to keep up being undersized. And we will see, obviously. But this dude is looking to hit, undersized or not. He's the straight out of a cannon type guy, man. He had some big hits in this game, one of which I think was a stick hit a yard short of a first down on a third down play. This guy is physical, man, and fast. He is fast and fearless.
I agree, but we've also said the same thing about Sidney Brown, in that he flies around the field, he's physical, but it's also been a detriment at times. So I'm not taking anything away from his play. I'm just making the small comparison there. Now, being in the right play or in the right place at the right time with that interception on Travis Kelce, who catches that ball 99.9% of the time.
He dropped 2 of those low outside passes in the game.
Yeah. No, Makuba was a question mark because it was like, okay, who's going to be opposite of Blankenship? And I think he's more than proven through 2 weeks that he is a competent NFL safety, shown a lot of flashes, loves ball, just like you said, loves flying around the field and hitting people. So
I think the coverage
love
side
what we're
of
seeing
things
from
is
there.
going to be the biggest thing that he's got to work on and figure out. But when coach just has him go in there and blitz and just go wreck up a running back, I feel like he is down.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably 21 years old. He's not a full-grown man yet. He has time to build out his frame, so that's something that is on the upside for him. Jahad Campbell, I thought, had another good game.
You mentioned the pick real quick before we go past it. I thought that was a fairly high IQ play by Makuba. He was totally positioned to make a play on that ball if it popped out. It wasn't a total like Merry Christmas, look what I found. He was in position, eyeing up that ball. Sure enough, it popped out, and he was fully prepared to make that play, which I think there's no panic, no panic at all. And I thought that was pretty impressive.
I could be remembering the play wrong, but even if Kelce did catch the play, I thought he was in enough of a position to punch the ball out, say he catches it right there on the goal line.
That's probably why he was squared up.
Yeah, he's ready to either punch the ball. He's got his eyes focused right on it. It just happened to pop right to him, but he was in an athletic position in the right spot, and that's what you need to be to make big plays, is just be in the right spot.
Yeah, no panic. It was great. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, he even got whacked in the face by who was that?
Was that Reed?
Yeah. Blankenship whacked him in the face. He's like, it's fine. I'm going. We're good.
He was gassed pretty early on running back. I give all the credit in the world to, who was it, number 71.
Yeah,
unbelievable speed
Simmons.
From the big guy, dude. And a great route to the ball. A great route to the ball, dude.
Amazing angle. Yeah. Props to Justin Simmons. He was their I believe number 1 overall pick at left tackle.
I think
he's right. Like, I'm going to save a play right here, and that's big dude on little dude, and
that's
it didn't end well for a little dude.
Over right there. That was great.
That's a rookie on rookie crime right there.
Rookie on rookie crime.
What else did you take away from the defense? Again, it's been a little bit, so I'm fuzzy, but what were your thoughts on Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis?
I think they look pretty darn good, man. Jordan Davis getting those big mitts up there, batting down passes. Every once in a while, he just is like, all right, I'm just going to bull rush and take 2 guys and drive them right to the feet of the quarterback. Mm-hmm. Jalen Carter is just sneaky strong. He's just like, we'll use one arm and just totally blow out a guy. And I thought they both looked really good. And I'm starting. I don't think that we have a stud right now, although Nolan Smith is knocking on the door, man. But as far as the edge rushers go, there might not be a superstar edge rusher, but the rotation, especially after adding Zadarius Smith, is looking kind of nice, is it not? Like, Uche has the occasional nice play. I actually am, if anything, Hunt, I'd like to see a little bit more from Hunt. He looks a little kind of almost undersized sometimes. Like, it seems like he's gotten pushed around the most out of all of them. Nolan Smith is just I don't know how he's as good as he is at his size, but he's just he's a true dog, dude. A true dog. Like
It's the ankle
he's
bend.
crazy,
It's
bro.
the angle.
He's so fast and so sneaky strong and just
Yeah.
relentless. He's great, but I kind of am starting to really like this rotation. And Ojomo, I think, had a sack, and he had some really nice plays as well. So I'm starting to kind of buy this rotation that they've put together on the defensive front now that we've actually seen all of the players play out there with Carter out there.
Yeah, I think that the Zadarius Smith signing is going to be huge for this team. I mean, Howie's had some swings and misses. I mean, Roquan Smith, remember when they got him from the Bears? He'd never even played. And Ndamukong Suh, he played well. He helped them get into the Super Bowl. But for a first game for a guy coming off the couch and to be able to flash like that, I think that is a big deal, especially when they had depth issues at edge rusher.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm really looking forward to what we see from this rotation going forward.
How about this? A little coach talk. How about this? Veteran presence, dude. What's the one thing that all those guys have in common? Are they not all pretty young guys in the league still?
Very, yeah.
And the guys that are, I mean, Carter's has hit. We don't have to look very far to see his issues.
Uche and Ojulari were both free agent signings, and they're a little older, but all of the main guys on the team, whether it's Jalix Hunt, Nolan Smith, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, all of those guys are still on rookie deals.
Yeah.
So to have a guy in that defensive edge room with the experience and status that Zadarius Smith has, great point. I think that absolutely raises all of their games, their acumens, their, what they need to learn, what they need to focus on, all of that.
Nice to have a good old been there, done that guy, and BG has always been that for this group. He's not there anymore.
Great point.
I'm not saying Smith is BG, but I think it just makes everybody more comfortable. It's good to have that, man.
Rising tide raises all boats, right, Dan?
That's well put there, Colin.
So, all right. Anything more from the Chiefs game? Or
any thoughts on Jackson in this game? Because he was a big talking point, obviously, last game.
I mean, he didn't kill them. But you're also talking about Hollywood Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster. So I think we need to look at the opposition before we
for sure
throw any laurels to Dory. Again, he didn't play badly, but you need to consider the source. When we play against Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua this week, might be a little bit different story.
Problematic. No, it's good to see that he at least can contribute when it's not a top receiver in the league, Yeah. At least he didn't get burned up by Juju or Hollywood Brown. But still a concern.
The one corner who did get beat was Quinyon Mitchell on that deep ball.
Do we know the assignments on that play, though? Do we really know?
I didn't watch the film.
One thing about watching the film, and was he supposed to have safety help over the top? You would think so in a game where you had that kind of a lead. You would think that there's supposed to be a security blanket, would you not? You would think so. And I will say this, dude. I will say this about that play. So I'm not going to say it's his fault because we don't know what this game was. There could have been a safety over
Trust me, I wasn't saying it was his fault. I'm just bringing it up for topic of conversation.
Fair. It's fair. But even on that play, I watched that play and I go, wow, Mitchell is so good. Because so many times on a play like that where a corner's in distress and he's maybe trying to catch up to the receiver, there's always like a pass interference or he just like blows into the receiver. We saw it in that game with just when you're trying to recover, things get frantic and kind of like dirty, On that play, did you see Mitchell went up and stuck his arm to poke? It was an incredible effort. I know that he potentially did get burned. We don't know this game. But that was unreal that ball didn't come out. And I just think that that's so rare to see that technical of an approach on a play where he's trying to chase down a guy who's a super speedy guy 5 yards behind him. I thought he almost broke that up, which would have been incredible. But I just was, even though it was a touchdown, I was floored by how good of an effort it was at the point of catch.
Yes,
so
no
technically sound, dude. It
was, and maybe more often than not, that ball does come out. He was in the perfect position. He did get beat, whether it was his fault or not. But yeah, to be able to recover like that and have the wherewithal to punch the ball when you are beat, but you have that position to do so, that is incredible knowledge, athleticism, skill, all of it.
Yeah.
That proves why Quinyon Mitchell, I think, is a staple and probably going to be a very long-term good cornerback for the Philadelphia Eagles. That play typifies it. Even in a touchdown that was let up, he still was kind of in the right play, making the right decision.
The only other thing I just want to reiterate about this defense is they play physical ball, man. I mean, we had a big hit. We had one or two big hits from the safety, Makobu. And how about a huge tackle in open field by Cooper DeJean on, I think, again, was a third down?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was just him. It was a pass out there. I believe the running back on that play was Hunt, and he just sticks him, dude. The tackling was so good in this game. I thought the tackling was like a clinic. I thought they put on a clinic with tackling. It was so good. These guys look like a team that loves to tackle, and that is inspiring football to watch right there, man.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully we start to see the swarm of defensive players like we saw last year. We'll get there. These guys are learning how to play together. But all right, let's do a quick preview of Eagles Rams rematch of the NFL NFC Division Series, the snow game last year, which was probably one of my favorite games to watch of any game last year. That was just electricity at its utmost. That was so much fun. I don't know that they're going to be able to do that again this week. Maybe I'm tipping my hand, but what are your thoughts?
I think that this is the best team that they've played yet this year. I think the Rams are playing much better football than either of the first teams we played. We'll see once the Chiefs get healthy and get some of their receivers back. But honestly, we matched up pretty well against their offense. Maybe most teams would if they don't have a big name receiver. Now you're going against the Rams, and one of our biggest concerns is our CB2 with Jackson. So, that's troubling because Puka Nacua looks just so good. I think he might be a top 5
stud.
receiver in the league, and he can do a lot of things, man. And he'll go across the middle of the field. He can do a lot of things. And I don't know. I haven't watched enough Rams ball to see how Davante Adams looks. I'm gonna assume that he's a couple steps down from all of our memories of primetime Davante Adams. But even still, I mean, Puka's the guy that really concerns me. And I think it's just a big test for this defensive line getting as much pressure as they possibly can to alleviate some of it on the secondary.
Yeah, that was where I was going to go. Is you have a 37-year-old quarterback in Matt Stafford. Pressure is going to be the number one reason that they will win this game if they do. Because if Matt Stafford has time to sit back there in the pocket and pick apart Adoree Jackson or any of our secondary for that matter, I don't think the Eagles stand a chance.
Yeah.
Because their receivers are so good and Kyron Williams can catch the ball out of the backfield. If Matt Stafford has time to throw the ball, it is not going to be good for the Eagles. Now, I think we're going to learn a lot about both teams this week. Now, early in the season, you're always kind of figuring out, okay, who have they played? Where are they? The Rams have beaten the Texans and the Titans. Two not so great teams. Now they're both 2-0. The Eagles played the Cowboys without Jalen Carter. We're able to squeak out of that. Played the Chiefs, and they didn't play their best game, but still won. I think this game is going to show a lot about both teams because they each have question marks. I mean, the Rams look very good, but you also have to consider the opponents that they played. Now, they played very well against Cam Ward and the Titans, who they're not a trash team, but they're definitely not in the upper echelon.
They could be.
They could be a trash team. We all think the Texans were going to be a decent team, but they're now 0-2. So there's question marks about it. I think this is going to be a very telltale game of what each team is, and I don't know what the Eagles are yet. They look like they have ability to win on both sides of the ball, but can they keep it going? I'm on the fence. I don't know. I'm definitely looking forward to finding out though. 1:00 on Sunday.
Yeah, the Rams defense has been like a top defense in the league after 2 games. They're up there in sacks, and their pass defense has been really, really good. Now, we can say all we want, yeah, but look at who they played. But it's also fair to say, look at our passing stats this year.
Yeah.
So, yes,
Right.
we're not those teams, but have we really proven to be a good passing team? No, we have not proven to be a good passing team.
Certainly not.
So, yeah, if we were a little more proven, maybe I'd feel a little bit better about those stats being maybe misconstrued because of the teams they've played. But yeah, the Rams have a better defense and some good young guys on that team. We saw them last year.
I mean, Jared Verse won
Jared Verse
defensive
is a
rookie of
great
the
player.
year, right?
He's a great
Very
player,
good.
but also a player that we kind of shut up when we played. You know, we can handle him. But yeah, the pass game, at some point, the pass game has got to be more effective. And the funny thing is, I bet you once the pass game starts being more effective, we start seeing some more of those big Barkley runs and the run game being more effective as well. So I think it's all about pressure on the quarterback. Matt Stafford is a funny thing because usually when quarterbacks get to this age, a lot of the other guys that have maybe are known as more superstars, we always talk about like the decline, and the decline's about to happen, and we talk about how it is happening. Matt Stafford is just like tucked away with the Rams, and nobody talks about his age, and nobody talks about any kind of decline because I feel like Matt Stafford has just been who he is forever now, and he's just who he is, and he's been good forever. Maybe not like a top 5 in the league type guy, but a very good quarterback who's just been able to do what he does without any sense of major decline for a long time. Just very subtle, I feel. He is capable of having humongous games, but he can't really move around in the pocket too much. Bring the pressure. I'd be curious if we do bring the blitz a lot to help compensate for maybe, an Adoree Jackson out there or what have you. But I don't know. I'm the more I think about this game, actually, the better I feel. But at the beginning of the week, was kind of wondering if this would be the first loss that the Eagles would have. We're so far away in the pass game. We're so far away, Colin. We're so far away.
Yeah. I mean, Jalen Hurts has passed for less than 300 yards through 2 games. It's not great. You want to feel old real quick? Matt, do you remember what year Matt Stafford got drafted number 1 overall?
I don't. I would be totally guessing. Based off of his age being 37, I would just guess like 20, quick math type stuff here, 2011?
2009.
Goodness gracious.
I thought it was 2008.
That's crazy, dude.
I thought it was 08. I wanted to look it up.
That's
09.
insane.
Yeah,
that's
this
insane.
It's his 16th year in the NFL. It's nuts.
That's
the
insane,
17th year, maybe. My math's terrible anyway. Well, I'll get right into it. I think the Eagles lose this game, if I'm being honest with you. I hope I'm wrong, but I haven't seen a lot, and I also think the Eagles are in a tough spot. They just played a very hard-fought physical game on the road, and they have to come home. Now the Rams are coming from the West Coast over here, equally as tough. But I just think that the Rams have the ability to expose what the Eagles are not good at on the defensive side of the ball. I could just see Stafford picking them apart if this pass rush doesn't get home. And that's the way I see it.
Do you have a score?
23-19 Rams.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
I think that I could see this kind of becoming a high-scoring game.
Shootout.
Huge, higher scoring than it's been, I guess, with big turnovers. Turnovers are going to be going to play a role, I think, in this game. So I'm going to go. I gotta go Eagles, though I could see them losing this game. We're going to go Eagles, bleed out the clock type scenario after a big interception or fumble. We're going to go Eagles 27, Rams 24.
Okay. All right.
Any
And
bold
trust me,
predictions? Any bold predictions here?
Zadarius Smith gets a sack.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm going to counter that with Jalen Carter over either 1.5 or more sacks. 1.5 or more
For Carter himself.
for Jalen Carter.
Okay. All right. Well, if Carter has 2 sacks on Stafford, I don't think the Eagles lose the game.
1.5. 1.5. 1.5.
So I got my picks wrong a few weeks ago when I said that. I guess that was last week when I said AJ and Devontae would go for 110. They did not. I think Nakua and Devontae could go for 150 between the two of them.
Okay.
I'll go that way. Since I'm kind of predicting that's the way I feel this game is going, that's the number I'll put on it. Probably 150 combined.
Okay. I'm going to go Saquon Barkley is going to have a rush where he runs it for 40-plus yards.
I hope you're right.
Yeah.
I want to see him smack his helmet again.
40-plus yards.
I'll go so far to say that Saquon Barkley is going to have a rushing touchdown. Now, that's not groundbreaking.
That's fine. You got to have
prediction.
there's levels to this, man. There's levels to this.
I'm making 3 predictions here. So Darius Smith sack, Devontae and Nakua go for 150, but Barkley has a touchdown.
All right, my super bold pick.
Yes.
The Eagles block a punt.
Oh, that's out of left field.
Yeah.
Is there any reason behind that thought process?
Dude, we can't. I like what I'm seeing from the punt return team. I'll just say that. I like what I'm seeing. We're gonna block a punt, Colin.
I'd love
It's gonna be a game of turnovers, man. I feel that's gonna be a game of turnovers.
What do you think of, like, 1 apiece at least, maybe 2?
I think we're forcing a fumble for sure. I think that we get 2 turnovers and we give up the ball once. I think there's gonna be like 3 turnovers or more in this game.
Dude, you're kind of convincing me. Like, now I feel like they're going to win this game. Having talked to you, I don't know. I came into this conversation not feeling well at all, but now you're giving me
I
hope
think
and
the
optimism.
D-line's going to have a good game, and to me, when the defensive line is having a good game, that normally results in turnovers.
That's how this team is bread and buttered.
Yeah,
through the front 4 on the defense.
And at some point, I just feel like, I don't know, no one's as cool, calm, collected as Hurts, no one in the world. But at some point, don't you think at some point the noise kind of catches up with him? And who knows what the coaches are saying in the film, like, throw that ball. Who knows? We don't know what they're saying. But don't you think at some point in time, he's going to be pushed to maybe throw some tighter window passes? And that at some point in time, noise, whether it be from the outside of the coaches, I would wonder if it would kind of catch up with him. I don't know. That's just kind of.
It's very possible. It could be internal because we've seen A.J. Brown be unhappy when he doesn't get the ball.
And yeah, 100%. I think he does very well with the external noise, but there's probably some internal noise as well.
Oh, I'm sure. And they know that the passing offense hasn't been good. They just need to figure out why. Mm-hmm. And that's incumbent on the Philadelphia Eagles as professional football players to figure out why.
That's right.
So, all right, Dan.
Shut up. Shut up. We won the game, Chris. Shut up.
Dude,
how about we're in victory formation, you bum?
Dude, when you sent me that live, so full disclosure to everybody listening, Dan sent me the video of the telecast when this is going on, and I didn't hear it. I was like, cool, we won the game. And he's paying attention so intently, he heard it word for word. And that was 15, 20 minutes before it got viral on
could have been us. Should have
social media.
Should have posted that.
I should have. That was amazing. That was good ears by you.
I heard it was so clearly Jalen's voice, which was the funniest thing, His
voice is so distinct. Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is.
We won the game, dude.
What
are you talking about? Yeah, dude. We're taking a knee right now, dude.
Shut your mouth. You lost.
You are crying. You're throwing a fit right now, dude.
Oh my
that was
God.
crazy.
That was hilarious.
How is that not embarrassing? I know he did only pass for 100 yards, but how is that not embarrassing to be throwing a fit like that at the end of the game? It's crazy.
Being a sore loser and not looking inward and blaming somebody else.
You only threw the ball bad today.
Yeah, we won the game, bud. Shut the F up.
You haven't won a game yet this year, pal. Okay, what are we talking about?
That's true.
Jeez.
Are the Chiefs going to miss the playoffs? 6-1-0.
Hot take.
All right. I got to go make dinner, Dan. It's been a pleasure. Thursday talk. I think we'll talk after the show, but we might have to do a Tuesday episode next week if that's all right with you.
Get a Tuesday in. Yep, sounds good.
All right. Yeah, this has been fun. It has been episode number 72. Do you have a 72 off the top of your head before we get out of here? I'm trying to think of one.
Someone came to mind, and I think I got a 71.
Was it Hank Fraley? 72. Was Hank Fraley number 72?
I think he was in the 60s. Peters was 71, right?
Jason, yeah, he was 71. Yeah. It's going to take me too long to find out. We'll find out a 72. That one comes to mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I got one.
Yeah, hit me with it.
Oh, I got a legend and I got a name I can't pronounce. It's a guy that we both know. It's a name I can't pronounce. It's a lot of vowels in the first name. Can you guess? You can pronounce this guy's name. I think did he go? He went to another team after us, but I can't remember where. He went to the Lions. Is it
Halapuli Vati Vaitai?
Yes. I knew you.
Big V.
You always nailed that guy's name, dude.
I pride myself on pronouncing athletes' names right because no one else in Philadelphia seems to know how to do that.
Just so you know, that's a HALAPOULIVAATI that he just pronounced. He's
Halapulavati Vaitai. And also legendary tackle for the Eagles, Trey Thomas.
Trey Thomas. I honestly think that might have been why Peterson popped in my head because I was thinking legendary tackle. But yeah, Trey Thomas. Yep.
Love it. All right. There it is. Episode number 72. This has been fun as always. Appreciate you guys listening. Go Birds. And we'll talk to you guys next week.
Go Birds.
Love it, Dan. Talk later.
Later.